Hey guys, Ferry Corsten here, and you're watching We Review TV.
Ferry Corsten, thank you for inviting us here.
Absolutely, thanks for
Rotterdam. First things first, we're here to talk about your album, Blueprint, your concept album.
Yeah.
I know you're really excited about it.
I am, yeah.
So are we. Can you tell us why Blueprint is going to be so different than everything that we've heard so far?
Well, it's a music album in a way, but it's actually more an audiobook. Mm-hmm. So it's a story, and it's not. I know a lot of people say like, oh yeah, my album is a story, mm-hmm. But this is an actual story. It's a fully narrated story, where you have the narrative that you follow along, listening to the actual story, and then that's certain parts in the story are being sort of like told by the music. The emotion in that particular part of the story is told by either an instrumental track conveying that emotion, or a vocal track that actually is about that situation in the story. So it's more almost like like I said, an audiobook, almost like a movie without the actual film, So and creating the music. Normally, with a music album, you just collect a bunch of tracks and you present it as your album. Everything is just like done from a very conceptual point of view. Everything stems from the leading thing is the story. Mm-hmm. So the concept for all the lyrics, for all the songs, is based on the story. Mm-hmm. So it all makes sense, and it's just one big hour and a half piece of continuous music, basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
You teamed up with David H. Miller.
Yeah.
Who is known for writing House of Cards, a popular US series.
Some of the episodes, yeah.
Some of the episodes.
Yeah.
How did that collaboration come to life, and how was it working with him on the album?
Well, actually, he turned out to be a good friend of my manager, and it's really funny because I came up with the idea of doing something based on an actual story, and I told my manager that, who lives in LA, and he said, "Man, I love it." And there's tons of guys over here that are script writers that can do something like this. And then he had a drink at a bar the same night, and he ran into an old friend of his, an old classmate, which happened to be David, and he hadn't seen him in a while, and he basically we're talking, and it's like, "What do you do now?" He's like, "I'm a script writer." So hey, I have something that could be really interesting. So next time I was over in the States, I was in a studio in LA. I teamed up with him, and so I briefed him on what I was looking for. And we had a really cool instant click, because I'm a big sort of sci-fi fan, and so is he. And so we had a good sort of connection straight away. And then throughout the process, it was just like he sort of like drafted up a first sort of idea. He pitched it with me, and I had some comments. Went back and forth a few times, and then I had like a story after a while that it was just enough for me to use as a concept to go to sit down with top line writers and say like, okay, this is sort of like the starting point of the song that we're about to write. On the one hand, you can say like, okay, it's limiting your creativity. On the other hand, it's also, you don't have to look for a topic anymore. You have a topic right there. So, and after I had all the songs that I needed for the album, all the lyrics, I went back with the lyrics to David for him to sort of like kind of based on the lyrics rewrite the story a little bit, so everything really fit. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it was a real cool process. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You just mentioned science fiction,
mm-hmm.
But the album is also more about other dimensions such as religion and history and ideology. And how did you?
It's always kind of hidden. It's not really like right on religion, because I don't want to touch that. That's a subject that I stay away from far. But it's down to your own interpretation whether you want to see something religious in there or not. You know, so history, yeah. Also, it's all pretty open to interpretation. Yeah.
You released Venera, Beast Theme, about a month ago under your alias Goriella.
Yeah.
What's the story about this specific song, and why did you decide to like release it under Goriella?
Well, Goriella, you know, it's one song a year basically, and this album is sort of going to be released right now, around the same time as when the new Goriella songs do. So, and my wife had a really good point. She's like, you know, you've been putting so much energy again into Goriella, and now you're coming out with Blueprint, which is along the same lines, like space and all of that, like leaves a lot of room for imagination. So does Goriella. Why don't you put the two together, really? You know, because Ferry Corsten is Goriella, and the other way around. It's the same person. So I thought it was the actual thematic music that Goriella is fits really well on this album, and. Venera basically means Venus and refers to V, which is one of the characters in the story. So I think that the whole thing will unfold as soon as you hear the album, and then it makes all sense.
Can we get back to the storyline?
Yeah.
Can you tell us what the storyline of Blueprint is about?
I'll give you the like the beginning of the story, which is basically a signal sounding like a drum. It's being received from where no one really knows. No one can decipher it. You know, after a lot of trying, no one can actually figure out what it means, what it is. But there's a guy, it's like a loner, a bit of a nerdy guy in the middle of nowhere who actually figures out what it means, and it's he deciphers the message in that drum sound and realizes that it's actually a blueprint, like a drawing in a way, a map to build something. And what he builds is actually V. So, and that's an android woman.
Okay. And
from there, the story will take on its own. So
that sounds cool.
Yeah.
Now these characters and events that happen to be in the storyline, do they have any reflection from your personal life?
No, not really. I didn't go as far as into putting anything that really reflects me in there. You know, I guess I can be a nerd sometimes. So you know,
Yeah.
So maybe I'm Lucas, you know, the other character, but not to that extent.
Okay.
Yeah.
You mentioned like as well science fiction, but also parts of history. How hard was it to transform these worlds into music?
It was more, you know, certain things just bring out a certain emotion, I guess, really, you know, and that's more or less what I was stepping into. So, in terms of lyrics, I don't think we really touched down that deep. The whole aspect of like religion or history, if you really want to interpret it in that way, I think comes more out of the narrative part of the story. But you know, some elements just, I can say, evoke, I guess, right? A certain emotion, and that combined with where the story is headed, yeah, that's how I sort of interpret it, the way I feel it, basically. Yeah.
How long did you work on the album?
I think all in all, about 15 months or so. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, the idea when the idea came to life, there was a lot of sort of like moving pieces, you know, putting it all into place, getting the script, trying to find the right people to write with. So that was already sort of like a part of the preparation, I would say. But the actual putting demos together in the studio, writing music, writing songs or lyrics, all of that, I think, yeah, about 15 months or so.
How would you like your fans to perceive the album and the whole story?
What I would like to see is just that my fans actually, and not just my fans in general, people who listen to my music will get like another appreciation for listening to music again, and not just listening to just a track, you know, or skipping through music. Just like what we used to do. We put on a needle on a record, a long player, 33 runs per minute, you know, and it was an album that you just listened to. And now, you know, we just like ram through it, and tomorrow everyone starts bitching that we've heard it and it's old. It's not old, it's 2 days old. You know, and appreciation for a longer piece of music that is actually telling you something. That's what I hope that people will feel as well. Yeah.
There's also going to be a tour. An album tour. And since the album comes with such a unique concept, can we also expect some kind of different concept for the tour?
Well, the album, every track on the album, you know, there's 17 tracks on the album, and each track has its own sort of graphic, like artwork, if you will. I teamed up with Oscar Design. He's from the States. He's a really cool graphic designer, and for each track he designed sort of like a cool piece of art. All those artworks, we sort of like turn it into like the visuals for the show as well. So everything's very related. And yeah, that's what it's going to be. Some of the bigger shows probably will have like the live performances as well. I teamed up with Helene for a number of tracks, with Eric Lemire. I did one track with Niels Geuzenbroek, who's a Dutch singer, and there's another track where I worked together with Clarity. It's an amazing voice. So yeah, some of the shows will definitely have the live performances as well.
Cool. Do you expect Blueprint to catch fire and other producers to jump on the train and mimic it?
I don't know. You know, I hope so. And I just say that more for the fact that if that happens, then the thing that I want so much, that people appreciate music again in the biggest sense of the word, is going to happen again, you know. And it's not so much like, oh yeah, Ferry did that and he was the first, so now everyone else does it. I don't care about that. If people do that, that would be great, because then, you know, we open up a whole new dimension to music nowadays again. But yeah, will this happen? I don't know. It's such a grey sort of area where this thing lives right now, you know. It's with today's Spotify mentality, you know. Yeah, do people actually appreciate a piece of music that is actually a 90-minute story, or do they say like, yeah, I don't care, you know, I really want to just hear that one particular track and it should be 2 minutes long? I don't know. It's a grey area, like I said, and either I go flat on my face or there's a triumph, you know. I don't know.
Yeah. Talking about the ending, did you leave the story as an open ending, meaning that there could be a Blueprint 2.0?
It has an open ending in that sense that it leaves you definitely with like a question: what is the story about? What does it mean in the end? You know, and that's down to your own interpretation in a way. Ultimately, I don't really see like, okay, that it's like a hook for part 2. But you know, David is a great scriptwriter, so he might be able to just, you know.
Taking another direction.
Yeah, exactly, and make that work. But as of now, I don't think that there's any hook like that. No.
Okay. Ferry Corsten, thank you very much.
Thanks, man.